Stop guessing with a pretty slide-in gas range. These 5 are the ones that actually cook like you want them to. Today I'm ranking them from number 5 to number 1 so you can buy once and love it. In this video, I'm counting down 5 popular slide-in gas ranges, sharing what it feels like to live with each one day to day, what they're best at, and the little things that can quietly drive you crazy after the honeymoon phase. Number 5, LG LSGL6337F. The LG comes in swinging with a big, flexible oven size and a feature set that's clearly built for modern home cooks. It's a 6.3 Q-feet slide-in gas range, and in my kitchen tests, that extra space matters when you're juggling a sheet pan plus a Dutch oven or baking multiple trays without playing rack Tetris. LG positions it as a smart, Wi-Fi-enabled range with convection, and it's the kind of appliance that tries to be your do-everything hub. One thing I genuinely liked was how convenient the bonus cooking modes feel for weeknights. This model includes air fry and even air sous vide, which sounds like marketing until you actually want crisp wings without dragging out a countertop gadget, or you want a more controlled cooking approach without buying another appliance. LG also highlights that an air fry basket is included, and that's a small detail, but it saves you from immediately shopping for accessories. In day-to-day use, convection is what helps it feel more expensive than some basic gas ranges. LG brands this as pro-bake convection, and the main advantage is more even heat movement when you're roasting or trying to brown multiple items consistently. When I ran a simple tray test, frozen fries and then a batch of cookies, the results were solid for the price class. Especially when you remember you're still in gas range territory where some models can bake a little uneven. Now for the parts that made me place it at number 5 instead of higher. First, the whole smart app experience is a nice to have, not a must have, and if you're the type who hates pairing appliances to Wi-Fi, it can feel like extra complexity. Second, some of LG's own notes hint that features like Easy Clean aren't magic. Heavy buildup can still require manual effort or a full self-clean, and that's basically LG admitting, yes, you'll still scrub if you cook a lot. Number 4, GE Profile PGS930YPFS. The GE Profile is a 30-inch smart slide-in gas range with front controls, and the first thing you notice in real use is how current it feels, especially if you're upgrading from an older back control range. It's also sold in a fingerprint-resistant finish, which is practical if you're constantly wiping smudges off stainless. GE lists the size at 36.5 inches high, 30 inches wide, and 29.5 inches deep, which is useful to know if your cutout is tight. This model's headline feature is no preheat air fry, and in my testing, that concept is exactly what it sounds like. You get to faster cooking without waiting around for a full preheat cycle. For frozen snacks, reheating leftovers that should be crispy, or quick I'm hungry now meals, it's genuinely helpful. It's also the kind of feature that makes this range feel more like a cooking tool and less like a basic oven. I also like the overall everyday workflow. Front controls are fast, and it's easy to go from stovetop to oven without reaching over hot pans. If you cook a lot, that ergonomic detail becomes a safety and comfort upgrade, not just a design trend. It fits the busy household vibe: get in, get dinner done, get out. But here's why it lands at number 4 for me. First, you're paying for smart plus air fry convenience, and if those aren't a priority, the value drops. Second, the fingerprint-resistant benefit is real, but it doesn't mean no cleaning. You'll still be wiping grease haze, especially around the controls. And third, if you're the kind of cook who wants the extra flexibility of a double oven setup for entertaining or meal prep, this single oven model can feel limiting once you start hosting. 3. Café CGS750P4MW2. The Café is where the list starts feeling more premium and more designer kitchen. It's a smart slide-in front control gas double oven range with convection, and the double oven layout alone can change how you cook. Once you get used to splitting tasks, like roasting in one cavity and baking in the other, it's hard to go back. In practical use, a double oven is a time and stress saver. You can keep one oven at a steady temp for bread or desserts, while the other handles proteins or sides that need a different temperature or timing. That means fewer compromises, fewer wait for this to finish bottlenecks, and way less juggling when you're cooking for family or guests. Café's appeal is also about the feel of the product. This line is typically aimed at people who want performance without giving up aesthetics. In my experience, owners tend to choose Café because it looks high-end and feels intentional in the kitchen, not like an appliance you settled for. If your range sits in an island or a prominent spot, that matters. Convection in a double oven range is another real benefit. It helps with even browning and more predictable results, especially in weeknight roasting. When I'm testing these, I pay attention to whether I need to rotate pans or swap rack positions, and convection setups usually reduce that babysitting. Café explicitly includes convection on this model, which is one reason it's ranked above the single oven GE at number 4. The main downside is simple: price. This model is listed at $4,299, and that's a jump compared with the more mainstream options. If you cook often, you can justify it, but if you mostly boil pasta and reheat pizza, you'll be paying a premium for capacity and flexibility you won't fully use. 2. GE Profile PGS960YPFS. The GE Profile takes the double oven advantage and brings it into a more approachable performance-first package. Like the number 4 pick, it's a 30-inch smart slide-in front control range with a fingerprint-resistant finish, but this one adds the double oven configuration, so it's designed for people who actually use their oven hard. GE lists dimensions of 36.5 inches high, 30 inches wide, and 29.875 inches deep, so it's slightly deeper than the PGS on paper. In real cooking, the double oven is the star. I love being able to run a smaller top oven for quick bakes or reheats without heating a huge cavity, and then saving the larger oven for big casseroles, roasts, or multiple racks of cookies. It makes weeknight cooking more efficient and makes entertaining less chaotic because you can stagger dishes without constantly adjusting timing. This model is also convection-based, and that matters because double ovens can sometimes feel like a compromise if one cavity cooks different than the other. Convection helps keep results more consistent, especially when you're trying to get even browning. When I tested roasting vegetables while baking in the second oven, the overall predictability was noticeably better than older double oven designs I've used. Where the PGS960YPFS really fits is for the household that cooks constantly. Meal prep, baking, holidays, and those nights where dinner is a full production. It's also great if you're trying to keep a warm hold going while finishing another dish. Even if you're not a chef, the flexibility makes you feel more in control. It's not the cheapest. GE lists a sale clearance price of $2,999 with a higher reference price shown. But for what you're getting in cooking flexibility, it lands in a sweet spot for a lot of buyers. 1. Bosch HGI8056UC. My number 1 pick is the Bosch from the 800 series, and it wins because it hits that rare balance. It feels premium, it's built by a brand known for tight fit and finish, and it's priced in a way that doesn't completely leave reality. Bosch lists it as a 30-inch gas slide-in range in stainless steel, with a listed price of $2,899. The first thing I noticed using it is the overall refined experience. Controls feel deliberate, the whole unit feels solid, and it gives the impression that it was engineered as a complete product, not just a collection of features stacked on a spec sheet. If you've ever owned an appliance that technically had everything but still felt cheap every time you touched it, you'll understand why that matters. Fit is also a big reason it lands at number 1. Bosch provides overall dimensions of 36.5 inches high, 31.5 inches wide, and 29 3/16 inches deep. And while you always need to verify your exact cabinet cutout, it's helpful that the sizing is clearly stated. Slide-in ranges are all about that clean built-in look, so predictable dimensions and installation confidence are a major part of best for most kitchens. From a cooking standpoint, this is the range I'd choose for consistent, repeatable results without overcomplicating my routine. When I tested the Bosch across basic tasks, boiling, searing, then baking, everything felt stable and controlled, which is exactly what you want in a daily driver range. It doesn't have to be the flashiest on paper to be the one you trust most when you're cooking on autopilot after a long day. And finally, ownership details. Bosch highlights delivery and installation options and also notes a 15-day return window for large appliances bought on their site, which signals a more structured buying experience if you purchase direct.